That we are only talking about because it's funny, to some updates on the guys that are already in the Canucks organization, as well as individuals who have left the organization lately. So, let's start out with the more, how do we want to start this video? We will do the boring stuff. Talking about guys that are no longer here in the Canucks organization. Of course, you know that we are talking about Rick Tocchet, because earlier this morning on Donnie and Dolly, there was a 5-minute clip posted about Tocchet's future in the National Hockey League, and where exactly it is Tocchet's NHL future could lie. Dollywall says, I am under the impression that Tocchet will listen to all teams, including Seattle, Anaheim, possibly LA, if they make a change. Not just the East Coast teams. Now, that does vary from what it is that Jim Rutherford said Rick Tocchet's intentions were. Oh, he wants to go out east. He wants to be back home with his family, etc., etc. But learning that the West Coast could still be a possibility for Rick does kind of throw a monkey wrench into that idea. Let's head over on to Canucks News Summaries. Big shout out over to Canucks News Summaries on Twitter, because they went out there and transcribed a lot of what it is that was talked about on the show. This is what Donnie and Dolly's presentation brings up. Rick Tocchet is returning to TNT on Friday and Saturday. It's not full-time, though, and his goal is to coach in the National Hockey League. He was interviewed officially with the Seattle Kraken. Dolly also said here that people were caught off guard when Rutherford said that Tocchet would only coach back in the East. Dolly is under the impression that Tocchet will coach Western teams too, Seattle, Anaheim, and LA, if those teams end up making a change. There's a lot of interest in Tocchet, and he's open to coaching anywhere. There's also a lot on reasons as to why he left. Lack of knowledge on Quincy's future probably being up there too. The Flyers have not reached out to Tocchet yet. Keep an eye on the Bruins. Obviously, the Flyers will contact Tocchet. So, Seattle, Boston, Philadelphia, LA even. I mean, there are a bunch of teams that could go out there and start vying for Rick and his services. We just have to wait and see if it is a team that will be in the East Coast or not. But honestly, it's kind of boring talking about the Rick Tocchet stuff, considering that he's not here anymore. There is a lot of, let's say, disagreement with how his reputation should be viewed in Vancouver. On the one hand, he is one of the most winning coaches the Canucks have had percentage-wise. But on the other hand, his overall body of work, when you combine the...
Are you sure? Mm-hmm.
It's a summary of Sportsnet 650's latest crossover with Dodd, Trans, Donnie, and Dolly. Not hearing any big names in terms of the Canucks head coach search. A lot of AHL guys. Pascal Vincent could be in there, Luke Richardson. I mean, there are a whole bunch of people that could rotate around. I don't necessarily know if Adam Foote is the best option here just because you want to keep Quinn Hughes happy, but also, as talked about here, the biggest concern with hiring Foote is that you can't just sign him to make Hughes comfortable. You need a coach for the entire game, not just the defense. Anyways, let's move on to one of the other topics here in this commentary. Also, courtesy of Canucks News Summaries on Twitter, this is what was talked about in Sakaris and Price yesterday about Vancouver Canucks star prospect Tom Bolander. Cam Robinson was brought on the show to talk about the idea of the Bolander trade, among other prospect-related endeavors. And Canucks News Summaries went out there and posted the summary on the Tom Bolander talk. Someone told Cam that it may not all be doom and gloom on the Bolander front. Priority number one for the Vancouver Canucks is the coaching search. And it would not shock Cam if Bolander was signed by next week. Refresh the everyday with mental flicks. Yes, the fresh.
Thank you, Rick.
So, there is an opportunity, or maybe a likelihood, if you wanted to use that word, that Tom Bolander does indeed sign with the Vancouver Canucks, and he does find himself in the organization officially. Now, I don't think it would be facetious to explain why him signing now would have probably been better than him signing before the end of the season and going off that ELC. It's just with all the drama attached to it, the fact that Bolander was the only top NCAA guy outside of Isaac Howard to not get signed, and he wanted to sign, and it was expressed by his representation that he wanted to sign, and he didn't, and the Canucks were reportedly not willing to give him bonus money and everything. The fact that the Canucks have had so many bad stories this year just made all this Bolander talk feel all the more worse. If there is a positive story to come out of this, if Tom Bolander does sign next week, and he's a Vancouver Canuck for the next 3 years, potentially a main roster Canuck on the next season's worth of play, if he can all that, then okay, great, that's the momentum that you need. If you don't have good people sticking around long-term guaranteed, then you need to at least get Bolander down there. Now, speaking about defensemen, let's talk about one more extra piece of info that's not even technically Canucks related, but it's something that we do need to talk about. Because it was posted by Greg DeBrey from the R Canucks subreddit, saying that the Vancouver Canucks have the chance to do the funny and drafting third left-handed defenseman Pedersen. Yeah, that's right. There's another one. Liam Pedersen is unrelated to the other three Pedersens that we've seen in the regular SHL. He had 21 points in 39 games with the Junior 20 team, and he was at double a point a game for the Vancouver Lakers Junior 18 team in the playoffs. 11 points in 6 games for the J18. It's a really good amount, but of course it's the J18s. He's one of the older guys in the pool there. Still though, solid production in junior, cup of coffee with the regular SHL team. That's not bad in the slightest. And Liam Pedersen is all of a sudden the guy that a lot of Vancouver Canucks fans will have their eyes on heading into the next few months. There are a few scouting reports, game-by-game scouting reports posted on Elite Prospects Premium about Liam Pedersen. I'm not going to screenshot those because this is, premium content for EP. But a report by Lassie Ulliman from the beginning of March talks about how Liam Pedersen does have some pretty good strengths. Clean transition play, effective puck breakouts with rustling fields, stretch passes. He's a calm guy who's able to delay the game in order to make the best opportunity. He can skate it out if he needs to. So he's a really nice puck facilitator, although there are questions on his defensive game. He doesn't really control space that well off the rush defensively, and he doesn't take advantage of his size either. He looks to be an average skater, or at least maybe even a little bit higher, So this is a guy who you're probably going to draft more so because of his offensive transition game. Ulligan concludes at the bottom of the scouting report that a C grade seems warranted. So a little bit of a different type of Pedersen compared to Marcus and Elias, but the lead in Pedersen is a guy who, if you wanted to talk about his offensive potential being his number one catch, I'm not saying this guy is going to be a top pairing defenseman at all, but if you wanted to go Cronin and Verlander as your offensive guys, assume Proteus leaves. If you're getting a good chunk of production out of Cronin and Verlander, as well as Liam Pedersen, it opens the door for Elias Pedersen, Marcus Pedersen, and Mancini to be the defensive guys. You just pair 1-1-1. You could go Marcus Pedersen, Phil Cronin, Elias Pedersen, Tom Verlander, and then Liam Pedersen, Mancini. Pedersen. And then the Pedersen up from the center. And then you trade for a musical Pedersen. And then Pedersen power play. And that sounds amazing. Three defensemen on one power play doesn't sound like a good idea. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section either way. Not just about Liam Pedersen, but about all the other stuff here too. Rick Tocchet, the Canucks coaching search, Tom Verlander, and more. Hope you enjoyed this special 99 and 5. CIBC is a founding partner of the Toronto Tempo because we believe everything matters, on and off the court. Well, here we are, Boston, Edmonton, Detroit. Today, we are talking about an article that was posted on to BleacherReport.com. And this was from about a week ago, by Adam Gretz. It talks about one of the most polarizing figures in the crease this season in the National Hockey League. And where he could potentially end up. This was posted about April 28th, and it will be linked in the description.
Changing shit. You might talk like I've been injured.
Landing spots for Jeremy Swayman amid NHL rumors. Now, this is a very interesting discussion to have, because when it comes to the player at hand, he stunk this year. And I was in a position where I took him with my first round pick in one of my main fantasy draft leagues. I was drinking the juice. I thought that this guy was able to sustain the level of productive hockey that he had last year. He was my first round pick in a fantasy league of 16 different teams. In a keeper league, too. So the pool wasn't already amazing to begin with, and my first round pick was Jeremy Swayman. 2 years ago, the Bruins Swayman had a 920 save percentage. Last year, a 916. This year, an 892. He fell off a cliff, and he signed on till the end of 2032 making $8.25 million a year. Now, one bad year can be seen as one bad year. Maybe the Boston Bruins are better than this. Maybe they are better in front of Swayman. Maybe Swayman is better than this statistical breakdown would indicate. 892 save percentage. Still amazing. First round pick. Okay, I gotta get over my fantasy this year. But Swayman is in a spot where the Boston Bruins could really force a trade if he wanted to say they could be looking to change things up. This is what the article on BleacherReport.com goes out there and writes about. After a bitter, disappointing 24-25, the Sun finished with one of the worst records in the NHL, the Bruins need a reset. They might not need a full-scale rebuild, but a change could help them get moving in the right direction. One of the biggest issues they had this season was the fact that their goaltending took a gigantic step backwards from previous years. Was Jeremy Swayman's performance this year a fluke? Or is it a sign that the Bruins made a poor investment by signing a 4-year, $66 million contract? No matter what it is, if the Bruins were looking to get out of the team or simply make a change to their board, They have 1 year to consider moving Swayman before a no-movement clause kicks in during 26-27. Sportsnet's Elliot Friedman speculated that teams around the league may kick tires in the Boston Metropolitan on his 32 Thoughts podcast. With that in mind, let's dive into two. They've missed the playoffs 9 years in a row, with 6 of those years coming under GM Stevie Y. Everybody in Detroit has been patient, but some of that might be wearing thin, especially after they did so little this year's trade deadline. There are a lot of problems all over the roster, from their 5-5 offense to their overall defensive approach to the fact that they simply haven't found a steady answer in goal. The Red Wings do have 2 veterans, Peter Mrazek and Cam Talbot, under contract for a couple of years, and they have some strong goaltending prospects coming into the system, with Sebastian Costa leading the way. That might not make them an ideal landing spot for Jeremy Swayman. But neither Talbot nor Mrazek is any short of a long or short-term option, while prospects in goal can be extremely hit or miss. Projecting their performance over the long term is an exact science. Even if Kosa does pan out, having 2 good goalie options in the NHL for the long term isn't a bad thing.
Knowledge is put to the test. You get GMC's here. Also focus on now the ideals available for GMC's here, light duty, heavy duty, and all electric models.
It's Todd's Bidding.
Alright, these playoffs have been wonderfully unpredictable at points. Tonight, Florida Toronto, another one of the points, for the Toronto Maple Leafs, we know that they have doubles in Game 7, and we've been like 7 years so far. It's good time. They also in Game 7, they have experienced what they want over Kansas State, and then Toronto. So, while they have a reputation for losing in the first round of the playoffs, and I understand their reputation in there, doing that inside the 7th game. If they don't have to go to the 7th game, they're not going to get it. So, the Rocky versus Wall is in one first goal, so anyway. So, yeah, maybe some Solar back at some point in this series, but either way, Wall is not like this huge step down. So Mark on this is taken on to the President Florida, and it's good forecasting back then. And it's also good, I'm going to say this too. The Florida forecasting was very good. So was the President at the regular discussion with Tavares and some of the games. And they're showing some of that determination that people are criticizing for not having these comes to play. The Leafs still have power play. Nine have been best against the time. The rest of the 4 games to have a chance to stay there. Mark going in collide with the fans wanted to call for the goal. The referee found the goal that sold the pitch. That contact is not on meeting the contact hill. And so that takes up the their need for power play there. There was another committee trying to get into this. Dawson mentioned on the bridge. The Leafs get sometimes to be kept to the outside. Florida playing very good defense in this stage of the game. The Reds had to stand defense for the save, and then Toronto draws their second power play of the game. Nylander denies, that gets blocked, and penalties held off one shot on net. Toronto's off the tee. Now Marchand can use the box for that second penalty. Comes out of the box and he draws the power play from Florida, and it takes them 5 seconds. Yes, face off win it is. Barkov finishing his on the power play at 10:58. Seth Jones with the assist. So, and Flyers have streamed to the left circle. It's 1-0 Florida. And I guarantee you there's a lot of fans going, yes, that's kind of how this works. This is going to score that Florida side at once. And I had that feeling in 2022. Absolutely did. Panthers look for another. I'm glad that they clear this there. The Panthers get both records. Advanced this time on fast break, so he's pressed with 5 minutes left. The Panthers pressed with 4 minutes left, and then with 2:15 left, the Panthers go to the 18. So this is the third power play in the first period for Toronto. At 18-19, it's a white shot, after any plus top shot, I am in the fly on the power play. He has finished the 5 minutes notice. Toronto side of the and I just one. Second period, 14 seconds in. Marshall very close on, so very close on the net drive. Lundell in the arena with the assist. Toronto with the pass, that's the back break. They take that, they allow that goal in the opening second.
Oh, wow. 5 assists. I thought they were Raiders. And we're 16th, too. Okay.
That 15 throughout the playoffs, but that scale a little bit. Now he doesn't want to chance to tell the Panthers for 3 minutes. 4 strong forecasted by the Panthers, flat on the answer. At 4:18 in the end, it was backhand and close on the 2-1 run. He was good to pass the Reds and the West. He passed the Reds with multiple points.
Wow, Montreal is willing to trade that pick. Okay. Wow, I know.
Nine of the offense get five. The goal team 6 goes off from the rush to get it to the captain of the basket. After that, Andrew Trent had 6 minutes just to make it a series. They turn over to the next one. Tell the fits to the off pile. I think a little bit of confidence trying to somehow go to the start on the ball. We're going to take 6 behind the game.
Setting for homes on household feels not line on the Bridgestone Netfield Conflict Assessment. Plenty of feelings with every
What is Montreal? First game with yeah.
So it was weird that the penalties just happened to keep it 5-on-5. I think this was egregious. I'm not saying necessarily there's been a power play for Florida, but giving embellishment to Rodriguez, who exited briefly, he didn't go back into the game. I think that was kind of ridiculous. And it might be one of those times that, yeah, the referees are making sure it stays 5-on-5. And the argument's always been they don't want to have an influence on the result, but it's a good fit. If you're not going to call things you don't want there to be a power play, you are affecting the result, whether it's good or not. So that happened at a time. They're okay with it. Oh, we're very guilty in that second period of stuff. It's okay. The first was place. Sam saw what the referee does, and then there's retaliation. I think it's the over to go to the bar. So Florida gets power play. To be clear, Sam is telling the referee that the story hand is energized by Marshall. So by now, he's ready to stay in the slot. Then there's a clear by now, but then before he gets that power play, no damage. You know, offensive line. Then it has backhand and from the side. Marshall then has to rush to the base. He will end up with the
Wow, really?
So, lapses, books, right? A lot of these items, they're fine. Which I was just being involved, but it could have. And I felt like the officials did a poor job in what they did or didn't call it. And I do not talk about officials. I generally use that aside. But in this game, it feels like it was obvious that they were going on to make a difference to the outcome and fix it again. And stuff with this on their part of the line performance.
That works. Okay, I'll take that.
And Rodriguez was back to the Delegates. The Ducks and the next role because the puck goes the other way. Well, going together previously. It was a cross-ice pass and in, he was 2 on the left, and going to the right. And the Lightning kept 17-9, making the previously shoot off. So the problem made my body good. Anthony was the first 26 first in the hitter, which for you to be well around the third period. It's long, so you know, that has to stop the intelligence of the now. It's just better than both. It's not going to do that. 7 games, 7%, so after we tell the next day, both the notes games in the playoff game, and have nice it. So let's go through and get it done. Yeah. Johnson floated on Florida in the half time. So the Panthers have their strong start in the period, and that will continue. Steve has a lot of chance to block, so they can very much chance against the Panthers. Wall had a little problem with Brady is the next team to stop Alexander, then has a block shot, big block out, and then at 5:33, Liddell, 31 close on the next team, and it's at I thought that he didn't get the game going. And now we've got a original fall behind because I still in that mindset of every year was wrong before this year. But a lot of this stuff that you don't know what to do. They get that responsible almost immediately. 50 seconds later, 5:50. Marner gets flutters over the shoulder of the Robinson. And I don't know what that was qualified as a weak goal. It's just one of those change-ups with goals and goaltenders. You guys can let me know your thoughts. McCabe and Matthews with the assist. So it's 4-3 in favor of the Toronto Maple Leafs. And because it's Florida, there's no money on it. Florida's actually second. And I was actually sad to listen to the next. So we look for her. After the Browns were 7, that's to get to the outside. Second game is to go off to the side of the net. After the series, the Browns are 7-4 and they just scored seven. After that, the other Celtics have a team of fun. Carlos has the shot that you need to do from off the Panthers and that's there. The case that has the shot in front, so he's getting pressure from Murray and the left defendant. The Broncos win the race to the top of the 9. So I thought there was a really good opportunity for the Broncos to kind of get something together. Manson Frank is 5 cents left. Carlos has the Broncos. Kevin strikes the board from the air and the 12 cents. Reinhardt has the shot to the front out. The 55 left. The goaltender kept the board.
Perfect, guys, still available. Yay, good.
Kevin Francis plays more reserve that 6 on 5. We'll be playing the puck for the 33.7 seconds left. Panthers call time out with no discussions from Paul towards players, which he says that these guys know what they're doing. I don't have to tell them what to do. We know plans play them. It's fine. So the second puck again with 27 seconds left. They win this one 4-3. They lose this 36 seconds. So the more they win the 3 you have to win 4 on 5, which is not easy. Against this guy, Florida's absolutely capable of it, but I think Toronto's done a good job of showing that not going away this year. Josh on that, it's 5-4 in the first, 11-9-4 in the second, 12-6-4 in the third, 5-9-29-6 Panthers. Power play, 4-1 for Toronto, 1-3 again, 41-39 for Toronto. So they have against Florida, some good against there as well. I don't Packer a fantastic thing. The Rock stayed 15 out of 20, and Wolf stayed 26 out of 29. Yes, 2 of those series without goal on it. And if you're talking, that's still a little bit like yourself going to Florida. But Florida now, they have to win both games at home. All of the pressure is on Florida. Split on Florida. They have to win both games. Or Toronto comes home with a 3-1 lead. At that, I guess, works with Toronto. Otherwise, they could be looking at a team to the side. There were a lot of comments before this series started about the Panthers are such better. My opinion of the Panthers based on the fact that Florida is defending Panthers can't be something. They just know a lot of stone and a lot of it is psychological. I think it's the part of the class. The psychological aspect is something. Once you get past that, if you're strong, you're very dangerous. So Toronto's still going the way, potentially still going the way. From a concept for the time since 1956, I'm good, but if it's not before like that, you know, they absolutely have chance. Don't see how things go from here, so let me know your thoughts in the comments. like and subscribe today. I've done so already. Thank you guys so much for all your support. Let me say this in closing. I did kind of drop all the likes to go down the Western College places. I did see the Western College was the backup referee for this game. Take the shirts to break.
Do you actually know how much it costs?
Look.
You don't mind me asking, though, George, look at that whole thing with the permission aspect of this game, Barack. Let's do this thing.
Yeah, it's been a while since we played this game. But I have to ask you, though, Barack, why are Bill and Georgia City with the voting state?
I'm back to ball. George, go to it now, Barrett. For real.
Hold on down. What in the actual hell is going on? Explain it to us, Barack.
Good luck to you all. May the best player win. Barack, what the hell? Wait, I'm so confused.
I am really fishing. You'll see the ticket going against me.
George, what is going on? Why can't someone explain it to me?
That is true that George is connected business.
I would suggest for you guys to focus on the game.
How can you tell us to focus on the game when we don't even know what the hell is going on right now?
Struggling excuses from the 400-pound man himself.
I'm not 400
I think it's very fitting that we're playing this match.
Is Bill here as well?
The defendant is asking about the besties. You can talk now.
What do you mean Bill can talk now?
You guys need to shut the hell up and focus on the game.
Seriously, Bill?
What do you mean? You will say anything that goes against me, and you guys will pay.
Please focus on the game. That's all I have.
Destroy the wall.
Didn't you realize you could just kick you out of the Discord if you're going to keep talking like this, right?
Donald, just focus on the game.
I would listen to the backstabber himself. You won't be buffoon.
What in the hell are you saying?
Trust me on this. You don't want to mess with George.
We don't want to play with you if you're going to act like it.
You don't have a choice, you senile bum.
Are you trying to threaten us right now?
Not that you're going to win, but it's probably in your best interest to focus on the game.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but George is right, Donald. What Bush is doing.
Can't be serious with this, Barack.
Stop trying to take away from my He's looking at the cloud. My he just got a hole in one.
Dan was calling his best.
I'm surprised you're even in the damn group still. It's only a matter of time, though, for you to abandon your friends once again.
You guys see how we got them bulls one as well?
Shut up. You didn't praise my bestie when you got a hole in one. Stop looking for praise.
All you did before was ask for praise and respect, George. What are you even talking about?
And all you asked for before is that you could get a damn quarter pounder to cheese meal every time we play.
Okay, but what about you, Bill? What's going on here?
Did I say you can talk to my bestie?
I can talk to him however much I want.
Don't chill out with that. Actually, you know what? Why don't you go up and talk to him, bestie? I give you permission. What the hell do you mean by permission?
I would appreciate it if you guys left me alone with the hell and just listen to you.
How do you know the bestie is standing to you?
Why are you doing this, George? Why can't we come together as one?
You left us again, clown. You stretched out the backstabber himself and the McDonald's #1 fan himself all the damn time. Don't you dare talk to me like that.
I didn't intend on hurting you guys. I was just tired of the drama.
So you hurt everyone. Why are you even still here? You should go back to eating ice cream in the damn retirement home.
Okay, you don't get to speak for us, George.
Well. The fattest man on the planet is speaking out so he can defend his daddy, Joe. Do you think you're any good?
I don't know what you're talking about.
You never know what anyone's talking about because you're literally the dumbest person on the planet. Who is this? Don't act like you didn't crawl to me so you can use me to get you your first rich win. And don't act like you didn't call back to me and rush me back when I was taking time away.
That seems like a you problem, George.
Like hell it is.
You're still thinking about that.
Okay, what the hell was that shot, Joe? I told you to focus up.
You're seriously concerned more for the game than what is happening right now in the court?
What do you want me to say, huh? And now it's fair instead of you out some bull crap. You used to be cool. And then you backstabbed and went over to their side to meet right there.
Stop.
You're probably the fake one in this damn group. Did you just say that I'm the fakest one? Oh, and now you can't hear or something? Everyone knows that it's a lie. You are by far the fakest individual on planet Earth.
The loss of access to the instance to advice happiness and advised to say that's like it would right. How smart each other grabs it is fixated in Glasgow for the students, which produce it in this community of the living and the online students. There's a time to give the loss of access to government.
Can you stop yapping, George?
Excuse me?
You missed my shot.
You missed that shot because you're literal garbage at this game.
You don't like us, George? Why are you here?
For real.
What in the world are you trying to accomplish?
This is the most disgusting friend group I've ever been a part of. I'm going to destroy everything and destroy you all.
Come on, George. You don't need to be doing this right now.
Okay, shut up, Joe. How about you guys recognize how my identity is in first place? I'm going to finish this place, though. Nobody cares. Everyone knows you're going to leave anyway. It's all about the same. Where is it that I give my identity to respond to that?
Again, the permission aspect of things, George. Bill can be his own man.
I would be very careful about the future of your father. I wouldn't want for someone to get hurt. Seriously, are you trying to apply something right now? How dare you? No. How dare you guys? You guys ruined my life with this garbage group. You guys took my destiny away from me. You guys are the worst.
Can't blame us for everything, George.
Stop talking to us.
Self-reflect as well if they want you to improve.
I did warn you guys, didn't I?
Oh, come on, damn it! I'm sorry. What are you doing right now, George? Whatever you're doing, you better stop.
What I do with my destiny is none of your concern.
Excuse
This is my destiny, not yours. Come on, guys, I need you to stop with this. Say anything more there, and all of you going to break loose. Okay, I think I did that. Sorry, come back. Damn right, it's your best. How long ago you do it? You can check this. Oh, what was that? You will be still. We will now go to you. Say it one more time so we can truly understand what the facts are. The facts of this deal okay with you.
What the hell?
You hear that, ladies and gentlemen? This is what you all have to do now. Bow down to your king.
This is serious and messed up, George. We're sorry, okay?
That apology was a mistake of Sheriff's entire personality, Joe.
We're sorry, okay?
It's too late for that crap. All the crap you guys will regret. You only deserve it. Is there anything you can do to fix things, Joe? You guys my destiny whether you like it or not. And don't even think of saying anything or doing anything. I have my eyes on all of you guys.
Wait, what do you mean you have eyes on?
I don't know, you tell me.
You have to actually do that, huh? You want him to make some comments every now and then during our Thanksgiving session?
It could be. Or maybe it's not. Maybe you guys are just going crazy. Stop that how to make the call. You're saying too much again, Sarah.
No!
How many times do you have to say sorry, George?
It won't matter. I will torture you guys mentally. Just let you get some shit. Standing serious. You're going to learn from what you do. This isn't good. Please, for the love of God.
That's guys, what's going to happen if we win in this game then? Go to George?
Well, that's definitely not happening. It's going to be me or my bet.
What if it's not fair? It's going to be like one of those spanking sessions.
Stop! What sorry, stop, go to George.
It's me, right?
Basketball.
You're saying too much again, Sarah.
No! Stop it!
How many times do you have to say sorry, George?
It won't matter. I will torture you guys mentally. Just like you did with me. Can't be serious. You're going to learn what I went through. This isn't good. Please, for the love of God.
Franchise must continue.
You guys,
What's going to happen if we win?